I didn't push the button. I'm not all the way.
You're watching the Tesla Life live with your host, Mark Conlon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tesla Life number 420. I've heard that number before.
420? No way.
Very important number to the community.
Yeah, apparently. And what is today? The 16th of July, 2025. Welcome one, welcome all. And with me, as always, my co-host, we have Mr. Casey Green joining us from the Mid-Atlantic. How are you today, sir?
It's been an eventful day, I'll tell you what. It started with an earthquake, then there was and then there was like a gas explosion or mine failure or something. I'm assuming from the earthquake. And then, and then I've got to turn off the server. But I made a simple heat pump. Like, it has no compression. So it takes the heat from one side of the room and moves it to the other side of the room.
Is it called a fan?
No. That's not what a heat pump is supposed to do.
And then it dumps it into an air register where a compression heat pump takes care of it for me. So I've got two radiators, one on the server, not just the server, but the whole rack. And then water runs through the systems that are running, and then it goes through a series of tubes to another radiator, which also has a series of fans on it, and then blows into the register.
Cool.
Well,
using
Mr.
servers to
Science.
heat your house is nice, except when it's July.
Right.
So much.
1,000 watts into the room is not what you want when you got the sun already beaming in.
I'm going to do a simpler heat pump. The hot air is over here. So I'm just going to wave it over to this side of the room.
I don't know if that counts as pumping, though. It's just blowing.
He's pumping his arms a lot. I saw it.
Also with us, as always, Mr. Patrick Connor from the West Coast. How are you today, sir?
I'm good. Hello, Tesla Nation. I've got some stuff here I want to cover. So we are about to have a VPP event. It starts at 5 Pacific, so in less than an hour. And if you're watching this live, it's less than an hour. I don't know. It could be 300 years ago, depending on when you're watching it. To the AI overlords, thank you for watching our content. No, we also had a VPP yesterday. So our power walls were and will be discharging at 10.8 kilowatts. That's enough to power about 5 homes on our block. That's reducing stress on the grid on this 36C 97 Fred day that we're having today. And that means also that I'm going to have another negative electricity bill this month, and I'm happy about that.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah. We were just talking about heat pumps. So I want to do a quick PSA. As we talked about on the show last week, the Big Beautiful Bill, or maybe more appropriately, the Big Fossil Fuel Handout Act has passed. And that means that the incentives for things that you probably care about if you're watching this show are going to go away soon. So if you're considering an EV, solar, power walls, or a heat pump, don't delay. I'm going to have a heat pump installed later this month. So our AC unit and our furnace are both about 30 years old. Stuff like that usually only lasts 15 to 20 years old. So it's beyond its lifetime. And I have the service bills to show that we have to get it worked on to keep it limping along. So the new stuff is just much more efficient. And we're going to get it installed before the incentives go away. So if you're in the mood for a heat pump like me, move quick or get left out in the cold.
Yeah. Exactly.
So with that, you also need to be extra diligent. As this thing was progressing along, they allowed the states to regain some control of some of these items. So my induction range and heat pump for the house, the official one, not the simple one that I invented, coupled together, no longer qualify. So while I did get them, and I did meet the spirit of what was going on, get nothing for it other than lower electric bills. So.
Oh wow, that is lame. That the rules change. So luckily here I'm in Oregon, and it's administered by the Energy Trust of Oregon. Some of it's through the Oregon Department of Energy, but they have very clear guidelines of what systems qualify, which ones don't, what the incentives are, because there are different incentives for different types of systems. If you get one that is heat pump only with no methane backup, you get an extra $1,000 compared to getting one that would use a furnace as a backup, which makes sense because with the colder weather, to be able to handle lower temps, it has to be able to, it's a more expensive heat pump, so they have a larger incentive for it.
Yeah. And for me, to step up to the one that qualified would have eaten all of the incentive and then some to go from the one that didn't qualify to the one that did. And it doesn't, in this building, it doesn't get, not inside the building, but the location this building sits rarely gets cold enough to need or justify the step up. So
right,
solar and getting rid of the gas was enough to accomplish my goals without going.
Actually, based on your background, Casey, it looks like you're on a golf course.
Yeah, and I'm totally down with that. You don't want to let the what's the phrase? Let the perfect be the enemy of the good. If you can do something that reduces your energy use by 90% or your methane use by 90%, that's a great step in the right direction. It doesn't have to be eliminated completely, especially if you're doing a retrofit. Like our house, when we moved in, it had gas furnace, gas water heater, gas fireplace, gas cooktop.
All that.
So yeah, so the first thing we did was get rid of the hot water heater that was the tank because, well, it was having its own problems, and we replaced it with
melt you.
That's a little too warm. Yeah, so we got tankless, and that means that it's not sitting there keeping this big tank full of water hot 24/7 just in case one of us turns on a tap. Now, if you're using water, it heats it. If you're not, it doesn't, and that's just more efficient. So
this gas we have left, we went on demand for that as well. But the electric on demands at the time, you needed like 90 free amps, and I didn't have 90 free amps after installing the Tesla charger. So,
right, yeah, unless you're willing to put in a whole new circuit breaker panel, and that adds costs. And so I know it's future free from fossil fuel, but that doesn't mean everything I do has to be completely fuel free now. It's where I'm marching towards.
It's a progression. Absolutely.
Exactly.
It's a goal. Yeah, so here everything is gone except that one on-demand water heater.
And you have to have one, or your utility requires it by law, right?
It's true, right? They used to have the big advertisement about how natural gas friendly they were here.
Yeah, that's lame. Yeah, we don't have that restriction, and in the states that do, it's just obviously they are politically captured.
Oh yes.
Yep.
Just like the wonderful legislation that's ending all these incentives for the stuff we want and continuing them for the stuff we don't need.
Right. Politically captured, regulatorily captured. A lot of
air. We got free
air. Right. Yes. O'Hare air.
Well, let's get on to the news of the week, and of course, the big news that we've talked about a few times already was what is that, Patrick?
The Lorax. We were talking about O'Hare air.
Oh, okay.
He pops up.
I thought it was an old taco.
It's a very old taco.
Getting fuzzy on the outside. The big story this week, of course, is that the Model Y is now a stretch Model Y. So in China alone, the Model Y has been stretched a little bit, 6 inches basically, 15 centimeters is the sizing. And of course, that is going to help backseat people because, of course, it was basically footroom was non-existent in the current Model Y with a third row seat. Also, the seat configuration has been added to a 6-seater. So you now have a 6-seater in the Model Y option in China. No, not here, not yet, but that would be interesting to see if they actually bring some of those or make a change to the line in North America or Europe, which would allow them to make a stretched Model Y elsewhere besides Shanghai. But this is something that I didn't think they were going to do. We talked about this a couple times, and I really didn't think they were going to modify the car to add another 6 inches or so. But it is something that has happened. They changed the website overnight last night, and the cars are now available for order. They're not coming in yet. There's going to be a little bit of delay to get them. But that's a big thing in the Chinese market, to be able to stretch the car a little bit, because they're all about legroom in China. They want that extra legroom, and it looks like they wanted it enough that Tesla was willing to oblige.
Yeah, it makes sense for that market.
Because some of them, a number of the cars almost have like a limousine status, where they stretch the back because, of course, the person in front is just the driver. The owner is in the back and wants the bigger space in the back. So that's more along the lines of what this is. Although 6 inches, not a great deal of leg room extra, but it's certainly a lot more than what was there previously.
Right. So you said they added the extra length and a third row option?
Correct.
Well, put back the third row option, really.
Right. Yeah. So the third row hasn't existed on the refresh until now.
Right.
Is that true? Okay.
Interesting, though, because when they were talking about this, extending it, I was like, okay, so we're talking maybe 3 inches max. 6 is double that. And it also puts it right there in the Model X category. Basically the difference between the two to begin with. So this will be interesting to watch.
I wonder if there was no significant Model X sales in China, and that's why they're not worried about, because you'd have to be worried that this is eating into cannibalizing the Model X market. And so if there is no Model X market in China, and this is what the Chinese market wants, then you do it.
They remember they pulled out of Japan and a couple other places, not just because of the Reacher situation. Basically, they weren't making right-hand drive S and X anymore, and it'll be interesting to watch how this plays out, because the size of the X I do like, but I've also been spoiled with all the power openings, and if they say, "Oh, go Model Y with the the coil spring suspension and the manual doors," it's not really a replacement for it, but.
No, but if you're in China and you can afford a driver, you already have full self-driving. You just ask him to drive. You already have someone to open your door. You just ask your chauffeur to open the door.
With the driver already in your employ. And then this isn't Tesla's first foray into this market either. They remember they had the Model X. I forget what they called the trim, but it had 4 fixed seats, and then the 2 rear seats were much more plush than what we've got now. They didn't fold, and then in the middle was like, I want to say there was like a champagne cooler, but that doesn't sound right. There was something in the middle there that stopped you from having a seat. I was like, wow, it's a fat Volt, and it didn't sell all that well, but it sold for a while, and it sold worldwide. Yes, we actually could have opened it here for a number of months. So
I think it's smart to tailor their offering to what the local regional sales want. When they can. And China's a big enough market that, they did have to put in some engineering effort and retooling other things to stretch the vehicle. That's not, you can't just snap your fingers and make that happen. But if it's, they obviously did the math and said, here's what we expect as a return on that investment, and they think it's going to be positive.
Yeah. Brian has a great point about the import duty. But I also want to say that depending on how this is received and how it goes and how the numbers look as far as profit and expense, I don't see this staying in China forever, because if you look at everything they've done for China, if it wasn't just software, it's come other places in the world, like the executive Model S, like the HEPA filter in Model X. The whole reason we have weapon defense mode was because they wanted to put this filter in Model X and sell it, but the numbers were profitable if they just put it in every car. And so we got bioweapon defense mode because of them. They got the Model Y first. We got it. not necessarily Model Y first. They got the refresh Model 3 first, and that came its way over. I don't. It's a possibility.
So what do you think of this? Put a probability on it going to any other market or all the other markets.
40-45% if nothing goes wrong.
Wow, that's way higher. I would have said 10%, but
you think that they'd be concerned about slashing out the X?
Yeah. But then you've also got, don't forget, Germany. They don't make a Model X. They don't make a Model 3 either. But if this is an easy swap on the line, that will get rid of them around a lot of this trade wars that are going on around the world right now.
Yeah, HEC's got a point too. It could also be different wheels and tires based on its slightly larger size.
Yeah. Some people that just don't want the longer vehicle. It's harder to park or fit in the garage or whatever. So now are you going to make two versions of it? And that's not their style. They tend to, try to keep it as parts interchangeable, as few variants as possible.
I don't see it being a good choice to make every Model Y 6 inches longer. 3 inches, 6 is substantial. But at the same time, you've got places, like I said, like Japan, where you can no longer get Model X, but it was an option that did sell. But the numbers didn't make sense to the customers from importing it to taxes, etc. And so now you've got that from Germany. So Model X 116.7, Model Y-L 119. So it's actually longer than Model X. Incredible.
Yeah.
And new Model X only came up, 1 inch? So,
I wonder as FSD starts to take over and starts to be used more and more, would that type of a chauffeur type thing come to North America? Because, of course, if the chauffeur already comes with the software in the car and is just going to travel you around, will North Americans pick up on that? And instead of sitting in the driver's seat after a while, they'll just sit in the back and be chauffeured around by FSD.
Yeah, maybe the Model S Executive comes back.
Yeah, that definitely, once you have autonomous cars as the norm, there's going to be so many changes. It's going to have massive impacts. I think cars go from looking like they do today to looking more like first-class airline seating areas.
Right.
Yeah. Well, like a RoboVan. Brian was saying that Americans haven't found a car they wouldn't like as bigger.
Sad but true.
Unless we're talking like race cars or sports cars or something. But even then, bigger engine.
Yeah.
The bigger, the better. It turns out. Not a surprise because everything seemed to get bigger in the U.S. when it comes to vehicles. But
I think this might be more practical than the 6-seat Model X as well, where you still get those pretty seats that the Model X launched with. If you go for the 6-seat, or if you get a plaid and don't have a choice. Whereas the 5-seat and 7-seat came up with a more sensible idea that you can fold the seat over, which is why it took me so long to move from Model S to Model X, because I didn't want an SUV of the car I had that had less utility than the car because of the seats or some other ridiculous reason. In this case, it was the seats. So once they had the 7-seat that you could fold it down, that's when we went for the 7. But the 6 on the X is a little more popular and useful in people because there's a place to put the feet. They don't have to go straight under this classic stance. Whereas you got a little aisle that taller people can put a foot in. This will be interesting to watch what it does to, like, if it comes out of China, it'll be interesting to watch what it does to the rest of the fleet. And this might be it for Model X if they can't do another Rev cheaply.
Yeah, that's if they did cancel the X, I think that increases the odds of something like this happening.
Well, I'm wondering if this would be what does it for X.
The final straw that breaks the camel's back.
Stabbed by its little sister.
Yeah. But at the same time, though, if X is on the chopping block, then what happens to S? Because then there's very, very, very much less reason to make an S other than your Halo car, and Roadster is MIA still.
Yes, it is. It's MIA. That's a good way of putting it. It's MIA because it's hiding behind that cherry. No one's seen it in a while. It's very quiet over there on that Sunday top.
Yeah.
But let's move on. And certainly as the YL goes into production, we'll certainly be keeping tabs on it. I doubt that Tesla will be breaking down the numbers to see the difference between the Ys, but it certainly would be interesting to know how successful that is in China. And if it is wildly successful, does Tesla look at maybe opening it to Europe or someplace else? We'll have to see.
We're gonna see Model 3, Model Y, and then they won't break anything out. I'm curious if they're gonna shove Robotaxi and Model Next in there as well, because those are what they are perceiving as bread and butter. But the question then also is, as they ramp and there's low numbers, are they just gonna shove them in with other models, Semi SX and Cybertruck?
Mm-hmm.
Those aren't perceived as bread and butter, but the others could become. So that'd be a little weird as well to move it from one slot to the other within the year.
Next, let's move on to update 2025.26, which is starting its rollout to some of the privileged. And the additions here, of course, are the Grok AI is coming to the package. And initially, Grok will only be coming to vehicles that are using an AMD chip. But we have heard some rumblings about that still may happen. It still may happen for the Intel community as well, as they most of the work is done on the servers. So they might be able to allow others to partake in it, even pushing it back as far as they said, Elon said, a 2012 Model S.
That was the original promise. Elon says stuff. However, the reason this time that they only did it for the new cars is because everybody knows they can't make apps for the old cars, for reasons. What it is Grok came in as an app rather than as originally described to us as just replacing the voice channel. So because it's an app, apps only go on the new cars. That's why the Ryzens are getting this alone now. Will probably be like the weather display and a couple other things where eventually they realize this isn't going to sell them more cars, and then they push it back to the Intel cars with the blessed version of the screen, so non-legacy, and then whenever they are happy with the way that it performs and the interactions, etc., they'll go ahead and do like they said and replace the internet-connected voice channel all the way back to 2012 in the cars. That's the way I see this going. An example of this is my car actually has the new visualization from when they removed the ultrasonic sensors. It only shows up if you catch it while you're watching the binnacle screen in Auto Park. Only shows up. However, it's you can't say, "Oh, you're just seeing things." It's exactly like what I see in the loaner X's and S's that they let me use when I'm in service. That do have this all the time. The cloud and then as soon as it's done parking, or I interrupt it, or it gets confused, boom, back to the old school.
So that's something that they've missed on that, or they haven't looked too deep into it by saying.
Or mine is reading from the wrong bin when it reads what to do.
Exactly, it's reading what car you're in, and that's the last instruction in the string of instructions. It says display this, display that. Oh, and check the what car it is, and if it's not the car, don't show it.
Right, or maybe my cloud profile is speaking through like, yeah, he's seen this before. I don't know. Although they say that I can't do it, the car can't handle it, but yet there it is in the car running.
Another bonus of .26 update, which is starting to roll out, is light sync, which is kind of cool. So what that's going to do is it's going to listen for the music that's coming out of your stereo system, and it's going to sync the light pulse to the music beat. So you'll be able to have yourself a disco in the car as you're driving. So I imagine that .27 will have the disco ball lower from the ceiling somehow. But to start with, they're just doing the light sync beat to the music. So that'd be kind of cool.
Uh-huh.
Another thing of interest would be that in this update, We've got audio presets have come, and now this is something I wanted to ask Casey. Wasn't there kind of audio presets previously?
That feels right. Like they had, they weren't like named or anything, but they were like you could have different ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe this is a little bit more clear. Maybe you get to move them around or something as presets that you can do in other cars. But they say that this is coming to 26 with the other things. So that's again some progress here as we're moving along. There seems to be these are some of the smaller improvements, but of course the Grok was the big announcement in 2.6. That's what was taking most of the spotlight in this release.
Yeah, most of the stuff was for the later cars. I am surprised it took them so long to put the accent lighting in S and X, given that Cybertruck had it from launch, and S and X have had the provisions for it for many years now. At least at the very latest, earliest. The very latest as the Plaid came out, but it may have even been before that they had the plugs to do the lighting. So it's so long.
Yeah, at one point in time, Musk said S and X are the premium vehicles. All the new features are going to roll out there first, and then to the rest of the fleet. And that is not at all how it's happened.
Right, he's saying stuff again. I do like that they'll sync it up with your albums as well. Like there's a lot of things they'll sync it up with, and that was a nice little touch for something that. If somebody isn't inclined to go change the colors around all the time, it might just sit there static. So now you can like sync up. Like when you get the doot red hands, you can have the red flash of the of everything around you. You'll match your music. Did they say microphone? Because it would make more sense to just match the audio chip to.
It would. Well, actually, it's syncing to the music that's coming out. So I would think that it would sync to your voice if you're using a microphone too. Because that is output from speakers, and I think that's all it's syncing it to.
Okay. Yeah, if they just put it on the driver chip, that'd be fine. But if they did it directly to the microphone, then it's like you guys like to do it that way.
Yeah. So that'd be kind of nice.
The Tesla owning beatboxers
that's
out there.
Right. The beatbox music.
Yeah,
exactly.
Get Bismarcky to go on a ride with you.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be fun. And again, it's just starting its rollout to the privileged few at this point, but it's starting to roll out a little further. And I understand that even a change has been implemented from the few people that have had access to it. Is somebody asked if they could have the saying of, hey, Grok, wake it up as an option. I guess you just call it Grok and it would do it, not the word hey in front of it. But so many other services have the hey in front of a name or a person's name or a Siri, for example, that it just makes sense. It's intuitive to most people at this point.
Although Grok is maybe not common, but it certainly is a word that already existed. So if you just say, can you Grok that? Meaning, do you understand? If it wakes up Grok, that's not going to fly.
Right. I mean, that could be useful if they give this app more functionality, but right now it's literally just the same as what you get on your phone. It doesn't control the car in any way. So if you say, hey, the same stuff you could say to the car, like, hey, my buns are chili, it's going to say, so. If you told the old internet connected voice system that, it would turn on the seat heaters. I need 3 bacons, please, and it would do it.
Right, and I think we're not too far from that. I mean, they have to start somewhere, right? First is getting in there, and then you want to get all those bugs worked out before you'd actually start letting it control things that might matter.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's freezing out. How about I turn on the air conditioning?
Some of those Grok personas, I don't know if I'd want to give them control of the seat heater under my butt.
Right? Oh, is 97 Fred out? Oh, how about I turn the heat on?
Now, most likely you're going to need premium connectivity for this to work.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll need a subscription to Grok as well?
I think
you
you
do.
a trial right now, but
right.
Yeah.
But that's a good question about going forward. Are they going to keep it this way? Like for Tesla owners, it's included. So right now they said if you have a hotspot on your phone or you're connected to Wi-Fi, that you didn't need premium connectivity.
Okay.
And so this is kind of funny. Our Model 3 has premium connectivity for life, but it's the older Intel chip. And our new Y has the right AMD chip, but it does not have premium connectivity. So I would not be getting Grok on either of those unless I'm on Wi-Fi.
Nice.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how they do this, because if you stay on the free plan and you're having a conversation on your way in on a commute, and then it's just done for the month. You've used all your credits. Oh man, I actually needed it for XYZ thing, but now all my credits are gone. I got to wait till next month or pay up.
Yeah, right. Would you like to subscribe now? Say yes.
And then it's a noticeable subscription fee. You get the regular plan is what, $30 a month, and then you've got the super plan, which is like $300 a month.
Yeah,
or
I heard that.
$3,000 a year. Yeah.
Or $3,000 a year. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so you got to weigh these things. Does it make sense? But certainly over time, we'll have to see if they decide to change the subscription for Tesla owners, or if it will remain an add-on that comes with premium connectivity, for example, or not. But for now, it's also only available in the US. So it's the first country that's rolling it out. Nobody else gets it at this point. But I would imagine that other countries will follow as they start to implement it.
Huh. So that makes some sense, because the Grok hasn't rolled out everywhere yet. But it's interesting that for the car, they start with the country rollouts, not every country that's already got the app.
Yeah.
Unless you have to get approval for apps from your local, maybe. I don't think. I don't know if they have to get approval for every, but maybe it's something to do with how they want to roll it out. Who knows? Yeah, that's probably more like, because I don't think that they did that in the past, because previously they got their hand slapped for some of the apps and games they included and how they were able to use them. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to the next story, and Patrick's got this one about a new market that has finally started.
That's right. And it's too bad that Brian just left, because I'm curious what he thinks about this. So this comes to us from Drive Tesla Canada, and it's titled, Tesla launches Model Y sales in India, announces first Superchargers. So this is really cool. They are now opening a store in Mumbai, and and they're starting to put out Superchargers in Mumbai and Delhi. And then it looks like they are also working on another store in New Delhi area. So they are launching in the region. There are still, so this has been going back, Tesla's been going back and forth with the Indian government trying to get the import tariffs and taxes reduced, and they are not zero. So if you are, so the two that are available are the standard range rear wheel Model Y and the long range rear wheel Model Y. And converting the price to US dollars, it's 70,000 or 79,000. So that's substantially more than the 45,000 in the US. So there's going to be I don't know. I don't think they're going to be selling like hotcakes, but at least they're finally there. They're rolling out, and this was pretty exciting to see. And the reason I was hoping Brian was still here is I just wanted to hear what he thought about what will this do for this year's sales in the second half.
Yeah, the article pointed out that they believe one of the biggest hurdles for the rollout in India will be the pricing.
Right.
Because it is rather high, because, of course, there is some sort of an import fee on it, and that's what's pushing the price up substantially higher. Tesla, of course, had tried to get the fee removed or reduced dramatically, and they came in a happy medium. Some of the import fee was lowered, but obviously not to the point where you would be getting price parity in the United States. But it is a small victory that they did get some concession on the import fee. But as Patrick has mentioned, now they can start to, be in the market. They can, those that are well off will be able to access the vehicle. They'll be able to start rolling the into the streets, and hopefully for it to become an aspirational brand for people to want. So, and of course, in order to do that, you got to have them in the market. You got to have some superchargers. You got to have the infrastructure in place that people can move around and connect to different cities. And it looks like they're going to begin to do some of that.
I swiped base Model Y with the Mexico package. Anyway, so is this the temporary trial reprieve that they received, or is this just what it will be going forward, assuming they don't build the factory? Because the whole argument was, how are we supposed to know what the market is if we can't test it?
Exactly.
Isn't really that, but it does get them a little closer than, hey, 100% fee on top.
It also could
tariffs could ever change. That never happens. Tariffs are just what they are, and no one ever modifies them ever, Casey. I don't understand.
It used to be a lot less flexible than today's world.
But yeah, and we've got a story about tariffs being moved around later in the show. But there also could be the possibility that Tesla's starting with the Model Y, but the cheaper price car that's supposed to be unveiled later in the year, maybe that will be something that will fit into that market nicely, because it would be at a starting lower price. Still, they'd have the import fee on it, but still be able to, again, if you drop it by $10,000-$15,000, you can open up a new market for yourself.
I think that could be a little bit carrot and stick situation going on there.
Yeah.
Show this car off that's designed to be perfect for India. Sell it everywhere except India, because it doesn't make any sense with the fees on it. And then they'll argue about the factory. And you'll say, well, we need the factory, but we still can't do the factory without the pricing being online either.
Yeah, they can say economically it doesn't make sense. Here's the white paper that we put together over the past 4 or 6 months. Take a look at it, India. This is what we're seeing in real live data.
Meanwhile, next door, in Pakistan and China and everywhere else, you've got a $25,000 Model Next, and in India, you've got just the $80,000 Model Y base.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that could be part of the plan.
I wonder if, so as you mentioned, India, the government has been pushing for Tesla to build a factory there. And I wonder if they came to some agreement that says, okay, if sales exceed such and such a threshold of these Model Ys, then we know there's a big enough market that we could build a Model Next or Model Y factory there. And that would get rid of those taxes and fees and allow them to sell them. But it has to be a big enough market. And Tesla won't know that until they do things like this and have a test. And then you can extrapolate, okay, yes, this was $70,000, $80,000, but we know what the adoption curve looks like as you go down market, so we can project it now.
Yeah. And India's argument has always been just build the factory and find out and see what happens. That's a substantial investment.
Exactly. Unless they're writing the check, that's not going to happen.
Right. Exactly. And they weren't. There were other areas where some of the Musk co-families of companies were carpet was rolled out, just like we see in other places around the world where they want this industry and they'll make it happen. Kind of like Giga Buffalo. That's a very, very good example. So can be done.
Thinking about Lucid stuff in Saudi Arabia.
Lucid in Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of other markets, let's talk about my market of Canada.
Yeah, sure.
What happened recently, in fact, just a couple days ago, is that the Model Y had a price drop of $20,000 overnight.
Yes.
And it was like, wow, what happened?
Less than Model 3.
Exactly.
Grand.
So, what happened here? What happened? Well, of course, tariff on Tesla vehicles coming in as a reciprocal tariff to the U.S. that was charging for our cars crossing the border. So that pushed the price of the Model Y into the $80,000 Canadian area. And Tesla started to look at it and said, well, we used to import from China, but Canada, as the U.S., has 100% tariff on those vehicles now. Yeah. You have another factory, and that happens to be in Berlin. And look, by chance, Canada has just signed an extended trade deal with the EU, which Germany is certainly part of. And that allows, again, zero charge or tariff for automobiles from each country to cross borders. So Tesla looked at that and said, we've got a factory, we have extra capacity. Let's have the Canadians start getting the Model Y from Berlin. And then immediately we can drop the price into a price that makes a lot more sense in that market. And boom, overnight, we started to get cheaper cars. And of course, the thing that really pushed people to know it was Germany was that the wait periods for the car was like 6 weeks. So we had a substantial jump in how long you had to wait. And of course, that's because it's still now got to come over by boat. So they're lining up transport. They've got to have it shipped logistically over to Canada by boat, and that's going to take a longer period of time, similar to what they did with the Chinese cars. They were coming over by boat as well. So it makes sense that these will be cars from Berlin. Another thing that came with that announcement was the new color, the black cherry, is now available in Canada for the first time ever. So that, of course, was a Berlin staple that no one had until recently.
Two things on that. So you'll have a neighbor down to the south a little bit who can't get the red, and had they not allowed you to get the Berlin exclusive colors, but get the Berlin cars, that would have been a little weird.
Yeah.
No, is there going to be a gray market to get this fancy paint in the U.S.?
Probably not. Although there is, I'm sure, one or two people with bottomless pockets that could make that happen. I'm sure. But the interesting thing here is, as we've talked in the past in other episodes about Tesla's logistics, trying to build factories in the markets that they service, and we were talking about getting a logistic parts train happening in those individual markets, faster parts delivery, shorter times, quicker delivery to customers. This is the other side of the coin. If something clogs up in one of your other segments of the world, you have the capacity to use that plant and ship them over to a place that otherwise would have nothing.
Right, redundancy is nice there. It's so Canada has now gotten cars from every one of Tesla's factories, right?
That's right. Yep.
So initially, before the IRA, they were coming from the U.S.
Yep.
And then when the mineral requirements changed in the U.S., we had to keep all of the U.S. built cars here to meet that demand.
Yep.
And that meant that they started coming from made in China cars went to Canada. And now as you just said, Germany. So you've got them all.
We've got the world car market. Absolutely. So now, and as mentioned, the price of the Y now is a little bit under the Model 3 price because, of course, the Model 3 is still having a 25% tariff coming from the United States. Yeah. So obviously, Canada's going to be selling a lot more Ys than anything else because it just makes financial sense to whoever's buying it. For the bang for their buck, it just makes complete sense that they'll probably go for the Y. And
you have to really want the 3 to pay more.
Exactly.
You have to be like I'm a sedan only kind of guy, or
track car,
or like you've got like a box you have to get parked in at work, and and then the Y is just too tall for it, or it's just like your style and money doesn't matter. Like I got the 3 because money's no object.
Yeah,
right.
I'm also curious what this does for those handful of people who buy the Model 3 now. Do you just get a mix of the U.S. and China if they are the same tariff? Or
Can you lean into your mic a little, Casey? There we go.
or perhaps do they favor one over the other still? Because with them having the same tariff, what then becomes the goal? Do you just have a pot of, right, this satisfies our Model 3s, or how do you handle that?
Yeah, I know that here in Canada, when that tariff rolled in, so many people just stopped buying because it just, to have a sudden shock of everything went up 25%. There were many people that said, okay, that's it. I'm not buying it. There's no way. I'm just going to sit on the sidelines and hope things change. Hope the federal ISEV credit comes back and that this tariff thing gets itself worked out. Because and I can certainly agree with those people as well, because you look at what kind of tit for tat is going on with these tariffs. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Like I could tell you that the tariff now is 300% tomorrow, and no one would bat an eye that could happen, because it's been that volatile that we really don't know. We're not sitting on stable sand. Like we're on shifting sand. We're not on stable ground. Yeah. So I understand why people have just sat out, but this gives people some stability. They can get the Model Y back at a price that is pre-tariffs, and certainly that's going to definitely help Tesla's numbers in Canada over the next coming quarters.
Awesome.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them just not offer the 3 aside from the performance package.
Right.
Actually, Casey, they did do that. They changed the website that all you could do for a Model 3 is look at existing cars that were already in the country before tariffs, and they were pushing their used cars. So it had happened that way because they saw the immediate change around that no one was buying, and that orders that were out there were being canceled because they were going to have to pay the tariff.
Yeah. The other thing that came up regarding Tesla in Canada, they did an investigation that we talked about where they accused basically Tesla of abusing the ISEV program. The investigation has concluded, and they found that everything was on the level.
That's right, and they unfroze the $43 million in tariff rebates to Tesla.
Yep, and so now they
no tariff.
Rebates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct.
Tariff's still there. But it might still make sense.
Right.
But now the Model Y qualifies in like Quebec and some places like that, right?
In Quebec it does, yes. But the federal ISEV $5,000 amount it ran out of money. So the program is effectively dead. But there is talk that they plan on reinstituting it in some form. We don't know what form it will take. But there is talk about that, so we'll see if that changes. And of course, that would help too.
And being qualified as not scammers.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. What do we got? Do you have anything else left here that we haven't touched upon? Oh, sure. And my list just refreshed.
Oh, nice.
Orlando, Florida is looking to partner with the Boring
Company. That's right.
Our ultimate story.
So we've got Universal Orlando has been talking with the Boring Company about a possible project. And if you guys know a little bit about Universal Studios in Orlando, they have just built another adjoining park that is a fair distance from the original park. It's like 1.5 miles or 2 miles away. So you have to snake through the city. They're going to put buses in place to start, but they need a mass transit system. And of course, they would rather not go through regular city streets because they're going to be stopped by stoplights and other traffic. And if you've ever been to Orlando, it is a busy place, especially if they're downtown core, where these 2 theme parks currently reside. So I thought they were going to look at maybe some sort of a cable car system or a thing like that Disney had implemented, maybe a monorail. But it turns out that they've been talking to the Boring Company, and there might be a tunnel between the 2 parks in their future. So that would be a big plus. And again, it's right along the lines of what Las Vegas is, where you've got a city commission that wants to reduce traffic, wants to have more options for people to be able to transport around. And this would be something that certainly would benefit the Orlando parks and benefit the city by not clogging up the roads with the traffic that's going in between parks. Maybe have a large percentage of the people just take the boring company in an electric car and zip through the tunnel and pop out at the other side.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. If you're going to do some kind of monorail or tram or even an overhead trolley, all of those are going to be construction projects on the surface that are going to disrupt traffic and have all of their own problems, even if at the end they're great. Say that, Casey?
And the NIMBYs.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you're going to be fighting for permits, and then you have to have council meetings and public hearings and all that. Whereas if you do a boring tunnel, it's underground, it doesn't get in anybody's way, and it seems like it would be a whole lot easier to say, okay, how's this going to disrupt your life? It's not. Okay, then fine, go ahead.
Yeah, I can hear the new NIMBY chant. Not under my backyard.
NIMBY?
With the underground, you also have the protection from Orlando drivers. You don't have all of the crashes and such to risk your business with. I'm sure that while you've got them on buses, even if you own the buses or if you put them on the city bus, you got to make sure that they don't have ads for Disney on there.
Yeah.
But if it's your own bus, then you got a lot of stuff to deal with. You got your employees and you got them in Orlando traffic.
Right. And the people who are there at the amusement park are trying to have a fun day, and being stuck in traffic is not a fun day. Instead, with the boring company, they can do something that's really cool. They could have, I don't know, the walls painted in some theme of whatever event they have going on, or they could have stuff on the screens in the vehicles.
Yeah, as you're going, they can show you what the attractions are at the next park. Yeah,
right. Yeah, they could actually almost make it like it's its own ride and make that fun too. Why not?
Make it a ride. They've got Robotaxi.
Yeah, and just even like do a Rainbow Road under the ground, right? Like
exactly.
you do the neon lights and the pulsing and all that. Eventually the car is going to be completely autonomous. So who cares what the road looks like? Just make sure it works with the sensors, and you give the passengers a bit of a ride with it.
And they're not new to this either. Like they've got the Harry Potter train to get you across the park. So this is just that.
Yeah. So Mark, when you were talking about how they have the old location and this new location, and they're not next to each other, it started me thinking about in Vegas, how you've got the Strip and then the Fremont experience, and they're not real close to each other.
Exactly.
And so being able to move people back and forth between those two easily is just means you're going to have more people enjoying themselves. And instead of spending time getting from A to B, they can actually be there and enjoying your, whatever shows or food or gambling or whatever it is that they're there to do, instead of being stuck on a bus or something or walking for 2.5 hours or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And they'll be willing to spend money on meals and stuff. They're less frustrated. They've gone through more rides. Now it's time. Oh man, I'm so thirsty. Let's get some beverages. Or oh, I'm hungry now from all this walking in between the events, but not, the time spent on walking all the way because you've got the Robotaxi, the loop. You just now let's sit down and enjoy our lunch, because now we're not rushing to get back to the hotel or the airport in time. So
yeah. I wonder what priority they will put on autonomous driving in boring tunnels, because they've seemed to said that's not our priority.
Right, but at a theme park is the perfect place to not have to worry about the employees at the theme park, and two, everything else at the theme park is already some level of autonomous, so it fit right in.
Right. Yeah, and as long as you have people at the loading and unloading to help people that need help in and out.
Yeah. But do you want to have boring employees there, or do you want to have to really vet your teen summer staff?
Right.
Yep. So that's a plus. Hopefully they can sign that deal up. It hasn't been signed yet. They're exploring this project, but as we've seen before, the Boring Company has a few other projects that didn't actually work out, but they have still a few that are in exploratory time, and this, of course, is another one added to that list. So we will keep an eye on it.
Hopefully, whatever sunk the last deals is something they learned from, and we see the thing happen.
Right.
It'd be nice to have it someplace other than Vegas and under the Austin factory.
Right.
Exactly. Well, let's wrap it up for tonight. We thank, of course, everyone being with us tonight. If you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up. Press that subscribe button. Helps us out immensely. Would really appreciate it. And if you want to follow us through the week in between shows, you can connect to our X feed at the Tesla Life. And let's start with Casey. What do you got for shoutouts, Casey?
At this point, I want to remind you that once you've subscribed, consider putting that little bell on down below, because it'll let you know when we publish something. So we've got express shows. It might have a little surprise for you. So have the bell on so that you know when the express shows are coming up for the surprises. And on Sunday, catch me at x.com/gcustom, youtube.com/Casey Green, and let's chat with Casey and Fred.
Very good. Very good. Patrick, what do you got?
Well, thanks, Tesla Nation. Mark, Casey, it's always fun hanging out with you guys. I've been a busy blogger this week. I've got some fresh content up there about heat pumps, how to find the incentives before they evaporate. I've got an update on our solar production that we'll be discussing later in the week on an express show. And finally, I put up a post titled, "If you're in a climate hole, stop digging." Right? I found it mildly clever that fossil fuels like coal are often dug up. And two, there's that old expression, if you want to get out of a hole, stop digging. So putting those two together, we're in a climate hole and we should stop digging. The recent floods in Texas are an example of that. And so the first thing we should do is stop digging up fossil fuels. There you go. Check it out on carswithcords.net.
Very good. Very good. Well, once again, everyone, thank you very much for joining us, and get with us next time. And together we will find out what's happening in the Tesla Life. Thanks, chat room.
Stay positive. Test negative.